American waffle. The American waffle is the one most people picture when they hear the word. Thick, golden, with deep pockets designed to hold butter and maple syrup. It has been a breakfast staple in the United States for over a century. Its roots on the continent go back further than most realize. Benjamin Franklin is credited with bringing the waffle to America in the 18th century, after encountering it during his time in Europe. His version was thinner and more delicate, closer to the Dutch and French styles he would have tasted abroad, bearing little resemblance to the sturdy, fluffy waffle that would eventually become an American icon. Somewhere between Franklin's era and the Industrial Age, the waffle underwent a quiet reinvention. Grids got deeper, batters got richer, and the iron went from a long-handled tool held over an open flame to a countertop appliance found in nearly every American home. Today, chains like IHOP and Waffle House have built entire empires around it. Waffle House alone serves around 80 million waffles per year. It shows up in hotels, diners, school cafeterias, and Sunday morning kitchens across the country. There is even a World Waffle Eating Championship held annually in the US, which is exactly the kind of event that could only exist in America. Brussels waffle. Lighter and airier than most waffles, the Brussels waffle has a crispy exterior and a soft, almost cloud-like interior. It is rectangular, larger than its Belgian cousin, and traditionally served dusted with powdered sugar topped with whipped cream, strawberries, or chocolate. It made its international debut at the 1958 World's Fair in Brussels, and when it was introduced to American audiences at the 1964 New York World's Fair, people lined up for hours. That moment is considered the turning point for waffle culture in the United States. Today, it is one of the most photographed street foods in Belgium, available at stands across Brussels every single day. Panda Waffle. The Panda Waffle is exactly what it sounds like, a waffle pressed and decorated to resemble a panda bear, typically using black and white batter or food coloring and chocolate. It originated in Asian cafe culture, particularly in China, Taiwan, and Japan, where themed food has been a serious part of the cafe experience for years. It is made primarily to be photographed, which is not a criticism. The combination of a recognizable, lovable animal and an edible format is a reliable formula for viral content. In many cafes, the waffle is intentionally designed with oversized eyes and rounded cheeks because research in Japan and Korea has shown that cute food can significantly increase social media sharing and impulse purchases. Some shops even release seasonal panda designs for holidays to keep customers coming back for new photos. Served with ice cream and colorful toppings, it has spread to themed cafes in major Western cities as well, where it often becomes the most shared item on the menu. Churro Waffle. The Churro Waffle takes the flavors of the classic Spanish-Mexican fried dough, nut cinnamon, sugar, crispy exterior, and presses them into waffle stick form. The result is something that works at theme parks, street food markets, and trendy cafes equally well. Served with melted chocolate or caramel dipping sauce, they photograph beautifully and taste exactly as good as they look. What makes them especially appealing to businesses is that they combine two proven crowd pleasers like waffles and churros into a single easy-to-serve snack that can be eaten on the go without plates or cutlery. Recipes for churro waffles went massively viral on social media over the past few years, which drove cafes to add them to menus almost overnight, often marketing them as a limited edition item that quickly became permanent due to demand. Some locations sell hundreds of portions on busy weekends, particularly in tourist areas and festivals. Despite being one of the newest entries in the waffle category, they have already become one of the most impulse-ordered desserts because the smell of cinnamon sugar alone tends to stop people in their tracks. Stroop Waffle. The Stroop Waffle is two thin waffle cookies sandwiched together with a layer of caramel syrup in the middle. It was invented in the Dutch city of Gouda in the early 19th century by a baker who was reportedly trying to use up leftover crumbs in syrup. The traditional way to eat one is to rest it over a hot cup of coffee or tea, letting the steam soften the caramel from underneath until it becomes warm and gooey. Starbucks started selling them globally, and IKEA reportedly moved millions of them worldwide in 2020 alone. It is now one of the most recognized Dutch food exports on the planet, which is impressive for something that started as a way to avoid throwing food away. Savory Waffle. Not every waffle needs sugar. Savory waffles are made with cheese, herbs, bacon, or potato folded directly into the batter, and served as a meal rather than a dessert. They became a serious menu item in American gastropubs and brunch restaurants over the last decade. The most famous iteration is chicken and waffle. Fried chicken placed directly on top of a plain waffle, drizzled with hot sauce and maple syrup. It sounds like a mistake and tastes like the opposite. The dish actually originated in Southern soul food traditions and became popular in Harlem during the jazz era, where late-night diners wanted a meal that worked as both dinner and breakfast after long performances. Wells Supper Club on 133rd Street became the definitive destination for it in the 1930s, serving the combination to musicians like Sammy Davis Jr. and Nat King Cole after their sets wrapped in the early hours of the morning. Bubble Waffle. The bubble waffle looks like nothing else in this category. A grid of round, hollow spheres baked into a thin, crispy shell. It originated as street food in Hong Kong in the 1950s, where vendors sold them plain from carts on the street. Today, it has become one of the most social media-friendly foods on the planet, served in trendy cafes in New York, London, and Tokyo, typically wrapped into a cone shape and filled with ice cream. fruit, and various toppings. Some locations report selling over 500 portions on busy weekend days. The texture is the point, crispy on the outside, chewy in the middle, with each bubble offering a slightly different bite. It has never stopped being street food, even as it became expensive. Savory Asian Waffle. Savory Asian waffles take the waffle format and apply it to an entirely different flavor vocabulary. Coconut milk batter, shrimp, curry, chili sauce, or vegetables pressed into the iron alongside the dough. They are sold as fast street food in Hong Kong, Taiwan, Thailand, and South Korea, eaten on the move without ceremony. Hong Kong's egg waffles, known locally as gai dun jai, are perhaps the most recognized version outside Asia. Their distinctive bubble grid pattern has made them a visual icon on social media and landed them on menus in cities far from where they originated. Made from a batter of eggs, sugar, and evaporated milk cooked in a round spherical mold, they are crispy at the edges and pillowy in the center, often folded into a cone and filled with ice cream, fresh fruit, or sweetened condensed milk. What started as a cheap snack invented in 1950s, Hong Kong from broken eggs that couldn't be sold individually, has become one of the most photographed street foods in the world. Beyond Hong Kong, the variations multiply. In South Korea, waffles are stuffed with red bean paste or sweet potato and sold from carts outside subway stations. In Thailand, they lean savory, topped with curry sauce or chili condiments that have no equivalent in Western waffle culture. The category is loose and constantly evolving. Each market and each vendor puts their own spin on it. What stays constant is the approach. Crunchy outside, soft and aromatic inside, fast to make and fast to eat. Liège Waffle. The Liège waffle is denser, chewier, and considerably more indulgent than its Brussels counterpart. What makes it entirely unique is the pearl sugar folded into the dough, small, hard sugar crystals that do not dissolve during cooking. Instead, they caramelize directly against the hot iron, creating pockets of crunchy, golden sweetness throughout. There is no other waffle that does this. It originated in the city of Liège in Belgium, where it has been sold as street food for centuries. Some vendors in Belgian cities sell hundreds of portions per day during weekends. It requires no toppings and no syrup. The caramelized sugar takes care of everything. Flemish Waffle. The Flemish waffle comes from the Flanders region of Belgium and is denser and more substantial than the Brussels style. Where the Brussels waffle is designed to be light and airy, the Flemish version is built for richness, thicker batter, heavier texture, and a flavor profile that holds up against generous toppings like stewed fruit, heavy cream, or warm chocolate sauce. It is less exported than the Liège or Brussels varieties, making it one of the more authentically local Belgian waffles. Pizzel. Pitzel are Italian waffle cookies, paper-thin, pressed with ornate geometric or floral patterns, and flavored with anise, vanilla, or lemon. They are one of the oldest known waffle-style foods in existence, with origins in the Abruzzo region of central Italy going back hundreds of years. At Italian-American festivals, Christmas celebrations, and weddings, they appear in towers and gift boxes. Some are rolled while still warm into tubes and filled with chocolate or cream, turning them into something closer to a cannoli shell. They are delicate, beautiful, and entirely different from every other item on this list, proof that the concept of pressing batter between two hot plates has existed across cultures for a very long time. Vafllor. Vafllor are the Scandinavian waffle, most strongly associated with Sweden, and they are immediately recognizable by their heart shape. Pressed in a heart-shaped iron, they are thinner and softer than Belgian or American varieties, and traditionally served with jam and whipped cream or sour cream. In Sweden, March 25th is officially Waffle Day, Vaffeldagen, which happens to coincide with the Feast of the Annunciation. The name overlap is a historical accident, but the holiday stuck. Swedish families make Vafllor at home on that day the way other cultures make pancakes on Shrove Tuesday. Simple, soft, and deeply tied to domestic tradition. La Commande, long, thin waffle glazed with syrup and sold as street food in and around the city of Liège, Belgium. It is less internationally known than its Belgian siblings, but deeply embedded in local culture, particularly at fairs and festivals. The elongated shape is entirely practical. It is designed to be eaten while walking, held in one hand, and with no plate required. The glaze varies from vendor to vendor, with some using plain sugar syrup and others adding flavored coatings. It is a festival food first and a recipe second, which means the experience of eating one is inseparable from the environment around it. Galette campinoise. Galettes campinoises are thin, crisp Belgian waffle cookies, similar in texture to a shortbread but pressed in a waffle iron and rich with butter. They come from the Champagne region of Belgium and are most commonly found in fine Belgian pastry shops, often packaged as gifts. They are served alongside tea or coffee and eaten in small bites. They are not street food and are not meant to be. They belong in a quiet setting, on a small plate, next to a good cup of something warm. Among all the waffles on this list, they are the most restrained and the most refined. Bergische Waffle is a German tradition from the Bergische land region, and it comes with its own full meal format. A table spread that includes the waffle alongside rice pudding, rye bread, cold cuts, and strong coffee. The waffle itself is crispy on the outside and soft inside, served with cherries and cream. The entire ritual is less about the waffle alone and more about the occasion it anchors. In the region, it is a cultural institution rather than just a food.